Okay, everybody, here I am. It is time, and we are reviewing it in Moogle Vision tonight. Here we are, Ranan. Ranan is our new Fest character on the JP side, and we're just going to get the obvious out of the way. He is an incredible character. Before, we get into all the details and everything, I'm just going to get it right out of the way. This character is one of the best characters that we've seen, period. Last night on the live stream, basically, at the end of my live stream, I took an early look at him, and there were some very glaring, obvious problems, and I'm not going to shy away from those in this video. But that being said, since that has happened, the Wotv data, or the Wotv calc data, has been posted, and it's looking really good for this guy. So let's talk about Ranan. So Ranan is a brand new Thunder Mage. Of course, he has a brand new main job, Warrior the Crystal of Thunder, and he will wield that job with absolute terrifying power. He also has Kododama Wielder, which is basically Messenger, and last but not least, a brand new job that is not available yet on Global, but will be soon, the Devout class, which is basically paints a picture that this character is a 100% a mage, and that is fine. We like this character as a mage. So taking a look at his stats right away, you're going to get a better idea in a little bit once I put the friend unit version into a party, but his stats are pretty juicy across the entire board, with one stat being a particular problem. And yeah, let's talk about his mastery skill. His mastery skill, of course, has the common parts to it, like HP and lightning attack up for allies, but he also has an AoE resistance of 10 for himself, and a decrease of skill activation time by 200, which is good. He does have some skill activation time requirements, so this essentially makes him a little bit better. Taking a look at his TMR before we continue on, this is a really nice piece of equipment. I mean, stat-wise, it doesn't look too incredible. It only has 300 HP, has 8 defense, and 6 spirit. All very nice, but not really incredibly amazing. So what is the skill? Single use 24 TP gives him a magic bonus of 40% increase for himself, with a grant haste ability of 42% increase in speed for 3 turns. So very, very good TMR. For mages, like a 40% magic boost is really big, and a 40% speed boost is really nice too. And I give this TMR higher marks if it wasn't for the fact that I do think it can be just way too easily canceled out by Oberyn. And Oberyn is a big footnote for this entire review, because that is Ranan's like kryptonite. Oberyn is just so clearly the counter to this unit, not only in just from the fact that an Earth Spear is this character's weakness, which you'll see in a little bit, but the fact that his TMR also cancels out this TMR big speed boost is a little concerning. And I would also prop this up to the fact that on the JP side, Oberyns are pretty common. He was a character that I think a lot of people pulled for, and quite a few have mastered, especially in high levels. So I don't think that this TMR is the greatest thing ever, but thankfully there are other really good mage TMRs that we can put on this character. Alright, and while we're here, we'll show off the Limit Burst, and I will just talk about the Limit Burst skill here. So it increases his spirit penetration for 40 by 3 turns, and not only that, it has a 200% modifier. It does have one of the highest costs we've seen in a while. 69 AP is a fairly big chunk, but as you can see here from the AoE, you're getting a lot of value off of it. You really are getting a lot of value. Just the spirit penetration for multiple turns makes all of his abilities way better. but this is a high damage dealing but a high cost ability. So I would say that this Limit Burst is pretty crazy, pretty great, and that's all you really need to say about it. It is just that good. The fact that ding, basically. All right, so let's continue on, and we're going to throw him into a party with a couple of different parties. First of all, a mage-based party is something that I would like to show him with. So we'll switch over here to Auto Farm, which is my mage, one of my big mage parties, and you can get an idea for his stats. Almost 6,000 HP is a lot of HP for a mage. 14, especially when you consider that he still has 1400 magic, he has 37 spirit. Of course, some of that is off of equipment, but he also has some support skills that improves this. And really, the biggest area of concern I think I have for this guy is agility. Obviously, the TMR goes a long way into boosting his agility. 40% agility boost is nothing to sneeze at all. But it is one of the primary weak points. If you were to cancel out this haste ability here, you're essentially losing a lot of speed on this guy, and it might be easy to run circles around him. Again, Oberyn being no entire slouch, and throwing him on just a general Thunder team. As you can see, this is a more physical Thunder-based team, not necessarily a Thunder magical team. His stats do take a bit of a hit, and I am curious about how well he can really synergize with other mages. I mean, it would require a lot of different testing and whatnot, and you'd need to have the unit. But, like, I wonder just if he makes Golbez just infinitely more valuable because of some of the stuff in his kit. So, yeah, this character, immediately I would say also a big note about this character is the fact that you essentially do need to have a primarily Thunder Mage team or a Mage team to really get the most out of this unit. But that being said, he is just really good. Taking a look at his resistances, as you can see, there's a glaring fault here. This will still be able to do a really good job against him, and if there's an Earth Gunner, that's also going to be potentially scary for this unit. But Oberyn will flat cleave this unit in half, and at the moment, you know, prior to the vision card and potential summon he'll get next week, this unit is really looking to be heavy countered by a specific unit, but I don't think it just stops there. He really doesn't have any fascination, any slow resistance. He is, quite frankly, a little bit weak to some scary status specs as well. Confusion, petrification, paralyze, and silence too. All of these things are a little bit scary for him. So that's a big concern if you are going for this unit or not. But now let's talk about his 3 jobs. So unfortunately, because I don't have one available, we're just going to have to talk about Devout really quickly. Couple of HP restoring abilities for units on your team. An AoE one as well as a single one gives this guy some healing ability. He can grant some AoE resistance / resistance for allies. But thankfully, he does end up with some really of the nice Devout abilities. One that increases lightning attack by 30 for 3 turns, debuff resistance by 30 for 3 turns, and reduces his own skill activation is a nice ability to have access to, and it is a TP skill. Interestingly, though, for his Devout, he got only TP skill abilities. So if you're looking to use Devout, it's going to round out his kit being able to use up all of his TP and generate some more AP later. But the crowning thing about his Devout skill set is he has the big boost of an increase of agility, attack, and magic for 3 turns for an ally, 25% and 40% for attack and magic, 25% for agility, and it restores HP to an ally of a bigger mod than his other HP restoring abilities. Basically, Devout is all support, but it is absolutely great support, and it will generate him AP, allowing him to thread the needle between being a DPS and a healer while also keeping a lot of his damage skills from his main job. Moving on to Kododama, you know what this is going to have basically. Move and jump up, 100% hit chance ability, 25% chance to stun, and more damage abilities. All really great stuff for him to have. He has, of course, the damage AoE ability that Kododama has, and they're all thunder magic. So great, that gives him some extra DPS options and ways of dealing with evade units, which is good. That is something that Thunder with Cloud actually ends up being really good at. However, getting into his main job, this is where things get really difficult to say that you should run a sub job, because the two abilities we have, first of all, is a single target ability with good range on it, and double hit ability that dispels, protect, and shell before doing 185% damage. There aren't that many skills, especially offensive skills, that get rid of, protect and shell. There are a lot of barrier smashers, but there aren't too terribly much that get rid of protect and shell. So this ability should not be underestimated and should not be undervalued. Moving up, we have another ability. This is one that I think is really great. Chance to inflict silence, chance to inflict slow for 3 turns to the targets. And it's an AoE ability, and it uses TP. This ability is just really good. Slow is a pretty common thing, and silence can shut down mages. And he has access to this all the time. With high faith, he probably has a pretty good chance of them happening too. This ability is just really good and quite possibly worth skipping either Kododama or Devout, but whatever of the 3 routes you choose, you have a lot of flexibility here, and none of the options are bad. That's just really strong. A lot of times I can say, you skip this job, you skip this job. It's a very straightforward unit build. Here, it's tough, but all 3 options are so good for 3 different reasons that this unit is going to be flexible in a lot of pieces of content. Taking a look at his main skill jobs, no slouch here at all. So let's start with some of his support abilities. First of all, this one, which does get an upgrade, basically increases missile resistance by 20% for 3 turns for allies, and increases spirit by 35 for 3 turns to allies. This ability, really good. 35 spirit is a big boost, and missile resistance too can protect your allies from potential incoming damage, which makes him valuable in arena and guild war against those range teams. And I very much doubt that his AI will have a problem recognizing that it should be doing some buffs. But hey, that's not the only support skill he has in his main kit. He also has this, which reduces damage taken by 50% for 3 times, and it's not coded to a specific type of damage, meaning that it can be good against physical and magical, and that is way more valuable and incredibly scary to go up against, because without a barrier breaker, this unit has enough HP and enough defense to be a really big shutdown to other mages, and potentially still be really good against other physical units. And yeah, that's all we gotta really say about that. Alright, so this one, interestingly enough, is his job level 25 ability. We'll talk about it. Ignores guts for targets and still deals 165% mod over an AoE, so it gets around guts or immortal spirit and can just flat out kill a unit. Kinda scary. Scrolling up, we have a general barrier breaker for targets, so he can get rid of barriers, and he has a barrier himself. Will reduce chances of of a counter happening 100 for 3 turns for the target, and a 200% modifier on it. Just a really strong damaging ability that gets rid of barriers first. Just good. And getting rid of counters too means that you're not going to get hit by really any damaging, or you're not just going to be able to deal damage effectively, and get rid of those counters. Continuing on a little bit higher, we have a couple more abilities to deal with. One that deals an incredible amount of damage here. That is, let me just see. Oh man, I just totally blanked and missed it. Where the heck is it? It just got swapped. Right, okay. It was the one that was highest. This one, it's a little good. It's a little good. I had to double check it because I didn't think it was that good, but it is. Decrease magic resistance by 25% for 3 turns to the target while dealing a 141% modifier, and has multiple uses. Wait, no it isn't. I got these two backwards. But anyway, you get the idea. This is something that every mage will want to run this unit for. Any mage team in the game. This is 25% magic resistance just gone off an ability for 3 turns on a target. For bosses, for high difficulty content, for raids, everything. This is just really, really useful, and it makes every mage in the game potentially stronger who had a problem getting through magic resistance. And here, this is the ability that's also kind of noteworthy. You know, just 220% modifier, you know, a pretty big damage, 40 AP, sure, but 25% chance to also inflict confusion. This unit's kit has so much stuff to it that it's not even fair. Barrier breakers, barrier creators, protection for units against range units, protection against other magic units, status effects, healing abilities. Like, this unit is one of the most stacked units I've ever seen in the entire game. Looking at his counter really quickly, because he has a brand new counter, of course, for his new job. Chance to counter all damage, restoring HP to himself. He effectively has a Una counter too. And on a really good unit like this with better survivability than Una, that's scary. That's actually kind of scary. Thankfully, this only has a 20% chance to activate, but it's still going to be even more annoying when this unit survives, heals himself partially, and then is free to just kill you on the following turn. In his support skills, we're just going to talk about the Devout, because I don't think Globalers know too much about it. The Devout skill is a defense and spirit increase by 15 and a decrease of magic attack by 20. So Devout support skill you only essentially want to run if you are going for a more tanky version of this character. As for his main 2 jobs his main 2 supports from his main job, we're looking at a decrease of skill of activation by 200. When you count or include, of course, his master ability, it removes a lot of his casting time, and his other ability, increase spirit by 12 for self and spirit penetration by 40, which, if you're keeping track with what he can add from his limit burst, that's 80 spirit penetration. Kinda good, right? But of course, what would a new fest unit without a new piece of equipment to? And here it is. It's not a thunder based weapon, it's actually just a generally good weapon. As you can see, 160 magic stat with a +5 bonus of getting spirit penetration by 20. Any mage in the game would love this piece of equipment because it gets around spirit stat, but I have to say, considering that you already have 40 from one source, 40 from another source, and 20 on this piece of equipment, boy, is Ranan looking incredible, and we haven't even seen his vision card or his summon yet. Ranan is just a top tier character from top to bottom. Remember how I was saying a few weeks ago or a week ago when we saw a specific other unit, which I'm just going to bring up. Remember how I was saying that I was really impressed tentatively with Skahal and his EX? Well, guess what? Skahal is now an A or an A+ unit, because guess what? Ranan is a A+ unit. There's almost nothing that I see as a problem with him. He has incredible damage potential. He has thunder. He will make thunder magic an actual competitive damage type. He will work well with other mages as well. Like, he can potentially just be a good healer. He is a pain in the ass to remove, and he has a nightmare veil of status effects that he can potentially cause pretty regularly, since his kit has just good status effects in it against enemies. Thankfully, the one thing I can say about him is that, well, thankfully, there is a counter to him. Oberyn kills him and his TMR counters his TMR. And that's good enough to just say right now that he is at least a little bit going to be not super duper duper problematic at this point. But I have to say, it's just another incredible strong fest unit with an incredible kit to it. Top to bottom, this is one of the best units, and I would even verge saying how good Setia is and how good Jum is, that Ranan is just that much better potentially. He really does make up for other characters' shortnesses or weaknesses and whatnot. So, to celebrate Ranan being one of the best characters I've ever seen in Wotv history, I'm even going to do a multi-poll just for entertainment value and whatnot. And hey, I'm expecting some gift lapis next week for, anniversary. So here it is. Here's a multi-poll for you. Not expecting anything, of course, because I am not lucky, but there you go. But yeah, for Globalers, this week you guys are getting Oberyn, and I do think that Oberyn is an incredibly important character. I think that he is an absolutely fantastic character. See, this is what I mean by not getting any luck. I do think that Oberyn is just absolutely going to be essential for kind of countering this in the future. So Globalers should definitely take a thought as to whether or not they want to get this character, or whether they really want to get Oberyn. Ooh, that was almost close. I almost had to eat my words. But I think Globalers should really consider whether or not they want to get Oberyn, because he seems just so important for countering this. And as scary as Ranan is right now, we don't know what his EX is going to look like the following week. His EX might be just absolutely fantastical and crazy and way too good. Sorry, not his EX, but his summon and his vision card. I'm getting there, sorry. Long day at work. But yeah, for anybody who is interested in Ranan, wow. What an incredible male character, and an incredible fest character, and an incredible thunder character. Hot damn, I really am curious how they're going to top this the following week, or in the following weeks for the anniversary. Anyway, that's all for this video. Let me know what you think, and see you next time. Take care.